So I've just finished watching The Road West, a western from 1954, a cavalry western this time, with a kind of unusual cast. No real big names really. I would say Donna is probably the most famous uh, actor in it, but Robert Francis, who's a young actor who made 4 films before he died tragically young, and he, probably most famous for Cane Mutiny with Humphrey Bogart. Uh, but this Western, he's the lead actor. He plays this kind of cavalry doctor. He gets posted out west to this fort to take over from his incompetent and alcoholic predecessors. And he gets into all kinds of trouble and scrapes along the way. As I said, it's got Phil Carey. I think I said it's got Phil Carey in here and Donna Reed, who I've just finished watching in Gun Fury with Rock Hudson, a pretty good western. And they're always great value for money. Donna Reed, beautiful as always, and she plays this kind of flirtatious niece of the fort commander, and Phil Carey plays this captain of the troop that Robert Francis is sent to, who takes an instant dislike to him and mistrusts him because of his predecessors' shortcomings, and they have this kind of very kind of fractious relationship.
She invites you to join her.
Thank her, but I'm finding this quite an experience.
I could make it an order, Lieutenant.
But it's a decent watch. It's not an action-packed film by any standards. If you're wanting guns and action all the way through, it's not going to satisfy you, this film. But it is a slow burner. It's more like a political kind of Indian kind of cavalry western, with these Kiowa Indians, I believe they are, and they're living in this reservation under this kind of rules of the cavalry, and they become sick with malaria because they're living next to a swamp or something. And Robert Francis kind of becomes concerned and wants to treat them, but he's not allowed. He's restricted from doing so by orders, and he disobeys orders and basically ends up starting this kind of Indian war between the Comanches and the Kiowa join forces, and they attack the fort that Robert Francis is kind of stationed to. There's other things to it as well, but basically Donna Reed plays the love interest here. She's this kind of plays this dual kind of role. She's kind of at the beginning she's this flirtatious niece of the fort commander, and then she becomes this kind of intelligent kind of supporter of Robert Francis, the only supporter he has at the end of the film, because everybody turns against him. They treat him like a traitor, basically. I can't remember the name of the something hawk they call him, which is basically this bird that turns against his own kind or something. It's based on a book, and that was the name of the book. So everyone treats him kind of like a leper during this film. He doesn't have his troubles to to search for in this film. He really does. Everything he does turns sour. But Robert Francis was pretty good in this film. He held the film together because it's a real slow burner. There's not really a great amount of action, and the plot isn't that really engaging. But he makes it watchable. His performance is quite solid. He goes through the emotional ringer in this film. Donna Reed adds a lot of good support, and Phil Carey is always great as the kind of antagonist, kind of captain that's on his back all the time. So I enjoyed it for what it was. It certainly wouldn't satisfy an action western fan, I don't think. There's not much action in it. There's little bursts of action here or there. It's got good characters though, I thought, and it's fairly well written and performed. And it's perfect afternoon fare, western fare. They Road West from 1954. A pretty solid, I would say maybe minor western. It only gets 5.9 on IMDb, which is kind of low, but I can see why. It's not a engaging western. You know, if you get into the characters, which I did with Phil Carey and Donna Reed and Robert Francis, the trio, I got into their characters, and that kind of kept me watching, because it is a kind of a political kind of slow burner, I would say, this film, western. But if you enjoy westerns like I do, you get something out of it, like I always do. So it's the Old West from 1954, a pretty decent kind of minor B-movie western, I would say. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.